The screen opens on a soft sunrise touching the tall glass towers of New York City. The streets are almost empty, the air cold, the city quiet in a way it rarely is. A single yellow cab cuts through the stillness, its headlights glowing against the morning mist. As it passes, blurred reflections of fashion billboards shimmer on the windows, old runway covers showing the faces and styles that once ruled the world. The camera moves through the city like a memory returning to life, drifting past a closed boutique with mannequins frozen under glittering lights, then rising toward a high floor of a familiar building. Inside an elevator lobby, a silver-haired figure steps into frame. We don't see her face, only her sharp outline and the smooth shift of her coat as she walks forward with absolute certainty. The doors open with a soft chime, and she steps inside. The elevator begins to rise, floors ticking past like seconds in a countdown. As the camera follows the slow climb, a voice begins, calm, thoughtful, older, but unmistakable. It's Andy. She speaks over the hum of the city waking up. It's strange, she says, how some moments never leave you. No matter how far you run, no matter how much time passes, they follow you like a shadow. Her words float over quick flashes. Runway Magazine slapped onto tables. Camera flashes exploding at fashion shows. The iconic blue sweater being lifted off a rack. The elevator reaches the top floor. Its doors slide open to reveal the entrance of Runway Magazine, sleek, cold, and exactly as the world remembers. The silver-haired woman steps out. We still haven't seen her face. A gust of wind from somewhere in the building lifts the corner of a magazine on a nearby desk. The cover features a bold headline, "The Future of Fashion." As the sound of a camera shutter slices through the darkness, and light bursts onto the screen. A fashion shoot is in full motion, fabric flying, lights flashing, assistants rushing in perfect chaos. In the center of it all stands Emily Charlton, sharper than ever, her expression tight with focus. She snaps her fingers once, and the entire room shifts. Models adjust poses, makeup artists freeze mid-stroke, and someone whispers her name as if afraid she might hear it wrong. Emily walks between racks of clothing that look too expensive to touch, flipping through hangers at a speed that almost blurs. She stops, pulls out a gown, holds it up to the light, and mutters, "If this wrinkled disaster hits my set again, someone's going home." Her voice is clipped, precise, and full of authority. The once assistant is now the one people fear. Cut to the street outside, where Annie steps out of a town car. Gone is the uncertain girl who once stumbled through Runway's halls. Annie now moves with confidence, her shoulders back, her gaze steady. She checks her phone, dozens of emails, alerts, meetings. But she pockets the phone and looks up at the building in front of her. It's tall, modern, and holds the kind of power only the brave walk into. She takes a breath, braces herself, and enters. Inside the lobby, a digital display lights up with her name, Andrea Sachs. Executive Strategy Meeting. She gives a small, almost private smile, as if enjoying the irony that she has become the very thing she once ran from. The scene shifts again, this time to a dim, warm studio cluttered with fabrics, sketches, and half-finished pieces of art. Nigel stands at a dress form, pinching a seam between his fingers with the care of a surgeon. He steps back, eyes narrowing, measuring the garment with both admiration and frustration. "It's good," he murmurs, "but not unforgettable. And unforgettable is what keeps us alive." He smiles to himself in that way only Nigel can, have charm, have challenge. Someone calls his name from off-screen, and he replies, "Tell them brilliance takes time." The screen opens on a quiet boardroom, not runways, but something colder, sharper, almost surgical in design. The walls are white glass. The table a long mirror-like surface that reflects every face sitting around it. At the head of the table sits a new figure, calm yet dangerous, fingers tapping lightly as if playing an invisible piano. This is the leader of a rising fashion empire, one built on speed, data, and ruthless precision. Around them sit young executives scrolling through tablets, each swipe revealing a new trend, a new metric, a new way to control the industry. One of them looks up and says, "Runway still holds power, but the world is changing faster than they can move." The leader smiles, small and satisfied, and replies, "Good, then we move faster." The room hums with ambition, a storm ready to break. Cut to a massive digital fashion show where holograms replace models, and the front row is full of influencers live streaming every second. Simone Ashley appears as a brilliant but bold designer, explaining her vision to a crowd of cameras. Her pieces shimmer like illusions, costumes made to be consumed by millions online within hours. It's stunning, innovative, and a direct threat to the old world Miranda once commanded. The fashion world is splitting into heritage versus speed, elegance versus viral, legacy versus algorithms. And caught in the middle, are the people who once shaped Runway's future. Annie appears in a tense meeting, her voice calm, but her eyes sharp. She's facing new corporate partners who push charts and predictions at her, demanding numbers instead of stories, trends instead of truth. She pushes back gently at first, but grows firmer. Fashion is not just clicks and codes, she says. It's still human. They look at her as if she's already outdated. She feels the pressure, she feels Runway slipping into a world she barely recognizes. Meanwhile, Emily watches a younger assistant mimic her tone, her movements all too perfectly. The girl finishes a sentence before Emily can, leaving her momentarily speechless. It's a rare break in her armor. She steps aside, breathing hard, realizing she's being replaced one task at a time. The glow of her phone lights her face. A single message pops up. "We need you now." It's from Nigel. Nigel himself stands backstage at a chaotic fashion venue, whispering to a nervous designer as cameras crash around them. "Listen closely," he says, leaning in. "Fashion always changes. But remember, in every revolution, someone gets left behind." As he turns away, the lights flash across his face, revealing a small, worried crease at the corner of his eye, the first sign that even he knows a storm is coming. The world of fashion is no longer just beautiful. It's faster, louder, and far more dangerous. And Runway is about to enter a war it never prepared for. The scene begins not with noise, but with silence, and unusual, almost eerie silence inside Runway's top floor. The office, once buzzing with clicking heels and hurried whispers, now feels strangely hollow. Papers sit neatly arranged, untouched. Chairs are perfectly aligned. Even the air feels still, as if the building itself knows something is about to break. The camera glides through the hallway toward the editorial boardroom, where a long table stretches like a quiet warning. At the far end, a single folder lies open. The pages inside shift slightly from the soft breeze of the air conditioner. On the top page, one word stands out: transition plan. Miranda enters the room as if she owns every square inch of it, yet for the first time, she does not command it with her presence. She stands at the head of the table, her coat draped over one arm. Her posture still tall, but not as unshakable as before. She glances at the folder. Her eyes pause. A small tightening in her jaw, so small most people would miss it, reveals the weight she carries. She lifts the page, her fingers steady, but not as certain as the world expects. The document speaks in cold corporate terms: new leadership models, editorial restructuring, digital-first vision. Each line feels like a thread being quietly pulled from the empire she built. The memory of past battles flashes across her face, photographers screaming her name, designers bending under her pressure, editors following her orders without question. But today, the room doesn't echo with her power. It echoes with doubt. She closes the folder gently, almost tenderly, as if trying not to break something fragile. Behind her, Irv steps into the doorway, his expression smug in a way only he can manage. "It's business," he says lightly, as if discussing the weather. "The board wants someone who reflects the new world." His words are coated in fake politeness, but the blade underneath glints clearly. Miranda doesn't turn to face him. She simply places her glasses on the table, a gesture as quiet as a falling leaf. Without her glasses, she seems oddly human, still fierce, but softer, exposed. "And what is your world now, IRV?" she asks, voice steady but low. "Shortcuts. Trends that vanish in hours. People who lead from screens instead of instinct." He doesn't answer, because he doesn't need to. The silence between them says everything. They are relics to each other, one trying to survive, the other eager to erase. Miranda walks toward the window, looking out at the city that once bowed to her. Below, the streets move fast, alive, uncaring. She lifts her chin, not in pride, but in resolve. "Everyone wants to be us," she whispers to herself. "Until they must be us." Her reflection stares back, strong, tired, and ready for a fight she didn't ask for. Aster's chaos hits like a wave the moment the screen fades in. Not the loud, messy chaos of beginners, but the sharp, controlled panic only fashion veterans recognize. The backstage storm seconds before a show. Assistants rush around with clipboards, stylists shout for missing pieces, and somewhere a model cries because her shoes don't feel emotionally correct. At the center of this madness, Annie and Emily stand face to face for the first time in years.